Welcome to an episode of Thoughts of an Average Joe podcast. It is Taroy Jackson, man, your favorite average Joe. Before I get started, man, how's everybody doing, man? Today, I don't know when it's gonna come out because I'm recording for season 5 right now. But today is Father's Day. I'm not gonna say Happy Father's Day because it's gonna be old by the time this comes out. But today is Father's Day, so all the dads out there, enjoy your day. How am I doing? I'm okay. I could be better, but I'm all right. I was in a good mood yesterday, and then I just woke up in in my feelings a little bit. I feel like, right, I'm on the cusp of being where I want to be. It's so hard. I know shit ain't easy, y'all, but it's hard. It is extremely hard. Extremely hard. As I get older, I kind of want to go back to therapy because I just feel like I have some unresolved trauma, right? Some unresolved trauma that I got to work through. I take accountability for everything that has happened in my life, the good, the bad, the financial situations I'm in now because of helping people. I just don't understand, right? Sometimes when I help people, or for example, right, me and my former best friend had gotten a place together. I never lived there, but except for maybe like a month, and try to help save the place. Didn't happen. Went into mad debt, and I mean mad debt. Like I'm taking out loans. Mind you, I was like 25, 26 at the time, maybe. Like I'm taking out loans, or 23, 24, some shit like that. It was after my academic suspension. Like I'm taking out loans. I'm trying to do, mind you, my credit was good at this point. I'm paying everything. I'm taking out loans. I'm out here trying to figure out, I don't want to lose this apartment. I don't want to get an eviction. And it happened, right? And, I trusted her to pay the shit off. And she didn't. And I think that's when I started to really lose trust in people. In women, because I was like, yo, if my best friend in the whole wide world can do that, right? What are these other if she can do that, these other women can do that. Easy, right? No problem. Easy. And I just feel like it's not going to get easier. Not by a long shot, sorry. It's not going to get easier, not by a long shot. I feel like also at the same time, it's like if I'm not struggling, but let's just say like, if I'm out here, like, why you got a better life than me right now? Like, if that makes sense. Like, we both went through the same shit. You're married with kids, and I'm just still living in my parents' house. Like, what the fuck happened? Like, how did I get to this point? Like, for example, me and my ex, we had a car together. It was more I just put my name on it so she could get it. I only drove it when she was out of town or whatever. That was like maybe like a few months. She has 2 repos and got a new whip. And I'm still trying to get a new whip and I can't. And I'm like, why does it seem like when I make these decisions, it only affects me? It only affects me. It don't affect nobody else, right? It just affects me. I have unresolved trauma when it comes to women and money. Because I've learned that I am a natural giver. I love to give. I love to make the people I care about happy, right? No problem. No issues. That's what I do. That is exactly what I do. That is who I am, and I've learned that. But when it's not reciprocated off rip, then it becomes an issue because it's like I don't have a whole lot of money, right? But because I live at home, I have more disposable income than most. Um, and it's like women be like, "Oh, women are scared. Men are scared to get used for money they don't have." You damn right. I don't have a lot, but with the shit that I got, I don't want to get used for. I don't always want to be like, "Oh, I want to do." You know what I'm saying? You need me to do X, Y, and Z, and you can't reciprocate it. Like monetary reciprocation is so important to me because, like, I always make sure you're straight. And it's not even the fact of you reciprocating what you did for me because I don't really care about that. I just want the effort. Like, hey, get my haircut every once in a while. I would be like, I know that they may call it sassy. Put gas in my car every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Like little shit, like thoughtfulness. You may see me, you may see something at the store and be like, damn, he may need that. Let me get that for him. Like that shit matters to me, bro. Like that shit really does matter to me. And it's like I don't understand why some people can't see that. Like they say I'm a conditional lover, and that's not the case. It's just if you're not going to do what I asked of you to do, why would I do what you asked me to do? Because at the end of the day, it's like it's a one way street. That's how I look at it. It's a one way street, and I'm not here for one way games. Um, I woke up this morning, y'all, feeling like a failure because you're supposed to run your own race, right? Um, like don't listen to what people say. You live your life at your own pace. But I'll be 34 in September, right? 34 in September. And I remember watching um Tyler Perry's show uh The House of Pain, right? And Calvin was like 35, 36 living at home. I was like 26 at the time. My brothers and family used to make fun of me. That's going to be you. And they're almost fucking right. Like, I haven't really put myself in the best position to get out the house, but also I haven't really started making money, like decent money, until the last 2.5 years. Like, I was surviving off of $12 an hour. And then I had to start paying rent, so I had to get a second job just so I could pay the rent because I was only making $1,600 a month. So if I pay the rent, if I give them what they wanted, I'm down to like what, 1,300? No, 1,100 because it was like 425. Now it's like 1,100 something. Then I still got to pay the rest of my bills and then survive and get gas and all this other stuff. It's time for a change, but I'm scared because I know that when I move out, I can't come back home, and I don't want to come back home. Like I'm about to be 34. Like if I had a girl, I can't even have a girl over. I could barely have company over. Like I can't sit there and be like, "Hey, yo, I get off work at 10:30. Stop by the house at 11:15, and we gonna pull an all nighter podding because I don't gotta work." I can't do that. But I can't have nobody come here real late and pod. And it's like I just want my own space. I get tired of my mom nagging and doing this and doing that or clean this and clean that. I mean, I clean. I just don't clean the way like, she be wanting me to clean. And it's like I had a conversation with them yesterday, right? And I just sat them down. This is like probably the first time ever I've had a conversation with both. And it was just like, look, I have wrote down my budget for now till October. I was like, because I'm behind on the rent because of the whole like contract situation. Um, and I'll get to that in a minute. Um, I was like, once I get caught up on the rent, can I just go half with y'all until I move out? My goal, my hard date is end of February. By end of February, I want to be out the house. Um, Originally I was hoping that I could just not pay them rent and just give them the money, and then they could just give it back to me when I move out. But I was like, they might not do that. I still may revisit that though. But I told them, I was like, look, this is what I could do. I could give you the rent as if I would normally give it. You take half of it, and then you put the other half up for me. Meanwhile, I'm still going to be saving money. Um, so I can move out because it's time. Like I just want my own space. And my mom looked at me, right, a little funny at first. And she said something that kind of triggered me, but I just didn't want to bring it up. And it was like, well, if you would have been taking care of what you're supposed to take care of years ago, you wouldn't be in this predicament. And I was just like, God, I was just thinking in my head, like, God damn, man, like, can I get some fucking grace? Like, can I get some fucking help? Like, yes, you let me stay here. And for a while, I wasn't paying rent, but I wasn't making shit. I was barely making enough. Like, I wasn't making enough. And like, can I just get some grace, man? Like, I'm trying. I'm fucking trying out here. Like, it's the first time in a while. Like, I made a plan. Like, I made a fucking plan. Like, I wrote down a fucking budget. Like, I plan on staying at the job I'm at. Like, sometimes I just feel like ever since the after school suspension shit. I mean, not the academic suspension shit at fam. It was just like I've been on my own. Yeah, I live with y'all, but that's it. That's all I do. That's just a place to lay my head. I felt more freedom when when I had a room for rent situation. I could do what I want, and I was paying $600, and I was fine with that. But it's like, can I just get? I wanted to be like, can I just get some fucking grace, man? Like, I understand I ain't done everything I was supposed to do, but god damn, it's like it's like you're penalizing me for the same shit that happened years ago. Years ago, when I got on academic suspension, I was like, what? About to be 25? I'm about to be 34. Like, I just need your help. Like, I can't pay the rent and try to move out at the same time. I can't. I don't make enough. It's not feasibly possible. Now, if I was on a contract and that contract was like 7 months, it'd be a different story, right? But I just can't. And that just really triggered me because it's like, yo, you see me trying. Like, you see me come to you. You know how hard it is for me to come to you because of the simple fact that I know that's how you feel. Oh, if you would have did this years ago, you would have been in a better situation. But I can't control what happened years ago. I'm asking you now, can you help me? Like, can you help me? Like, can you help me? Like, I feel like that and like why I'm the way I am with money is because of my parents. So, like, right, I had to handle something for the IRS. I had to send it off. And I couldn't do it. I had to go to work, right? And I'm like, can you send this off to me, mom, right? Send this off to the IRS. She did it. She basically, you told me, it's 2804. And she added that to my total. Because when I was on a contract, they let me borrow some money. And then I'm 3 months, pretty much, I owe them April, June, July for rent, right? So then the rent, and then the rent and what I owe them plus the 2804, I owed them a little over $2,000, right? And I was just like, bro, like, there's been plenty of times where you go to the store and you ask me to get you something and I get it and I tell you I got it. It's been plenty times where I have to take my dad to the airport because you don't know how to get to the airport. Just a few months ago, you went to Kissimmee to see your sister, which is fine. I wasn't home, and I had to go pick my dad up from the airport. But then I had to turn around and pick you up. I didn't want to do that. Like, I feel like I make sacrifices just like they make sacrifices. But it's like, bro, it's tit for tat. And then I was just like, well, then take the oat milk off of my tab, right? Because I bought some oat milk for her when I went to the store to get some oil for my car. And I was just going to let that shit rock. Like, don't worry about it. It's just $3. But I'm like, bro, it's $28. You can't spare $28. So it was like, yo, take the oat milk that I paid and take that off my balance. Like, yo, like, I don't want to play tit for tat. And she was like, well, if you're going to drive my car, then every time you drive my car, put gas in it. And I'm like, I do that now. I'm just like, bro, like, how the fuck did our relationship get like this? Like, this is why, like, it's like I don't really come to her for stuff, or my parents, because of the simple fact, like, right, and it's not even nothing against my dad. I just feel like at this point, my dad's been married for too long to where he's trying to keep the peace. But it's like, I feel like at times, and I could be wrong, and I really want to have a conversation with her about this, but I feel like because of what happened in academic suspension, I don't know if she still holds that against me because she feels like I was fucking around in school when I really wasn't. I was just trying to do way too many things at once, between the sports radio, between having my radio show, having a broad, you know what I'm saying, like having a radio show, being a broadcaster, a sports broadcaster. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I just we never really talked about that. And like, it was hard because that was really the path that I wanted. And now I'm still trying to figure out what I want. Eventually I want to work for myself, but I know right now that's not feasible. So, I got me a job that it pays all right. I like it though, but the overtime is good. It's enough to have me survive for now. I know when I move out, I'm gonna have to get a second job, but it's like, bro, you see me trying. Like, a lot of people thought when they first made me pay rent that they were saving that money. I'm like, I know my parents, they ain't saving that money for me for when I move out. That ain't happening. But it's like, it's kind of like a catch-22 because I understand kind of where they're coming from, because in the past I have not shown you to really not even take care of business, because I've taken care of business, but been able to really save like how I wanted to and get out the house. Like, even when I was with my ex and I was supposed to move to Syracuse, I was like, yo, can I stop paying rent so I can move? And it was a no. I don't know if y'all heard that, but that was my stomach. Sorry. And I'm just like, damn, I can't even get that. So I was surprised she said she'd think about it. And eventually, I plan on being caught up with everything end of July, at least for the rent. And after that, I'm going to be like, look, two options. Either we could go half on the rent, from now until I move out, or it would just be better if I don't pay the rent at all, because August, September, October, November, December, January, February, that's 7 months. That's like $2 to $3 grand extra I can have to save up. I kind of want to live on my own, but hell, with this economy, I'm probably gonna have to get a roommate. Like, I was talking to a coworker of mine, and I was just telling him, like, look, we in the same boat. We 14 days apart. He's older than me about 14, 15 days. I'm like, I live with my parents. You live with your sister. You want your own shit. Let's move the fuck out, bro. And I will really want like an income restricted apartment, but between the both of us, we make too much. So we just probably have to get a regular apartment, which still may be a little cheaper than doing it on my own, because we're splitting everything down the middle. So I may be able to save like $150, $200 a month. But I'm just frustrated because I'm like, at 34, right? It's like I can't even be an example for my brothers because I'm the oldest, and they're doing better than me. Like, they're doing better than me. Like, my middle brother Manny's been on his own since what? He's been in Chicago for like 7, 8 years now, maybe 6, 7 years now. My little brother Josh left. He wanted to leave so bad. He left since high school. And he's been on his own, making shit work. Even if he had to live in his car for a little while, he made shit work. And it's like, I appreciate them because They don't judge me, yo. Like they don't. Like my middle brother understands, right? Like he understands shit ain't easy. It's not. And I'm just fed up. Like I'm just fed up. It's like sometimes I wonder, like, am I not good enough? Like, am I not good enough? Like, I see me trying. Other people see me trying. But at the end of the day, I got nothing to show for it, bro. I got nothing to show for it. Absolutely nothing. And I'm tired. Um, I'm tired. Sorry. I don't think I've been great since 2020. There's been stretches where I've been good, but I haven't been great overall since maybe like 2019, 2020. The reason why I asked, like, am I not good enough? Like, my parents see me trying. Like, no matter what has happened since the academic suspension, I mean, I have a career, but I found a way to keep a fucking job. Like, I found a way to keep the income rolling in. Like, the shit that I want to do now, really, the epic shit, it's just not consistent work. Like, unless I become certified in epic, and that I got to get somebody to sponsor me. That either means like know somebody and get one of these agencies to sponsor me, or start working back in hospital. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to go back to a fucking hospital to work. Like at times I just feel like I'm not good enough. Like I see my parents see me trying. It's like, damn, can I get some grace? I know it's not like that in the real world, but like I'm your son. Can I get some grace? Like help me out a little bit. I had a decision to make, right? Over the last week and a half, I've had 2 epic roles, which is, what I was just telling you about. And I declined both of them because it's like, this job that I have right now may not be a career, because right now it's through a temp agency with the chance to go permanent. But what am I trying to say? I'm good at it. I'm really good at it, right? Like it's not difficult. And even though it's a warehouse, I get to sit down, like I'm solid at it. Like, I can see me being there for a little while, right? um and yes, the contracts is good money, is great money. But after like a couple weeks, like for example, when I do go lives, right? It could be anywhere from a week to a month. Well, basically like 2 weeks to a month, because you'll be there for like, I would start, let's say like their go live starts on like a Thursday, right? Or a Friday. It would be like, okay, I worked that Friday and Saturday, and then that Sunday, and then that following week, I get cut on like a Thursday. And I had to go home on a Friday. Like I just spent, I be spending so much money to get out there, and even though it gets reimbursed, then I got to pay people back. And then once I pay them back, it's like I'm right back where I started, and then I can't get a job when I come back because I don't have great work history, because I'm always hopping from job to job trying to find better income. Before I got this job, I had applied for a job in Sanford. I really wanted the job in Sanford. It paid more, and I thought I was going to get it. I didn't get it. I was a little down, and then I got this job, and I just felt like God wanted me here for a reason, so I'm going to stay here. Like, I'm not going to run. I'm not going to try to run. I'm not going to try to be like, oh, I want to get a better job. Now, if a better job comes along, like down the line, I'll take it. But I feel like God has me here for a reason. I don't know if it's because it's to be patient, if it's to like be consistent. Like, I was low key pissed at at Warren last week, right? Or a couple weeks ago. We had a talk about the situation I'm going through, right? And he was saying like it's time to move out, it's time to get a steady job. I was like, I have a job. And he was like, yeah, for how long? It struck a nerve with me because it's true. Like, you be having these jobs and then you either don't be going to work or you just don't be staying there. And he was like, we in June. You could say you have a job if you're still there by September. He made a good point. And I just had to step back, and he was like, I'm right. He's right. Like, even when I was working at Cracker Barrel, that one wasn't my fault. But the most people would have been like, hey, so they hired me for a certain amount, but they didn't pay me that amount for like 3 months because they said it had to get approved by corporate. Why? I don't know. I don't know why they just couldn't fucking pay me what you say you're gonna fucking pay me. But anyway, so I had left to go on a contract. I came back. Left to go on another contract. I came back because at that point they weren't paying me no money, right? They weren't paying me what I was expected. So I told them when I receive the actual pay, I'll go back to work. Until then, like, I don't work for free. I'm not like, this was supposed to be a 1-2 week process. It's been 3 months. And so they ended up, when I finally got the money, they basically fired me after that. They kept me on payroll, but they fired me. And it was just like, how can you, like, everything's a business and I get it. But at the end of the day, you owe me back pay. You owe me money. Like, I was missing an additional $2 an hour off my check every time I worked, right? And it's like, I didn't want to quit. I just didn't want to keep working and y'all weren't paying me because I felt like they were fucking trying me. Like, and it's just like, pay me what you owe me. And I would have went right back to work. And I was just like, hey, if you want me to come back to work, I understand. And after that, like, I went on they had an app for the schedules. I ain't on there no more. Cool, no problem. Could I reapply? Probably. But it's just like, y'all expect people, right, to do X, Y, and Z, knowing that you wouldn't do X, Y, and Z. Like, you don't know what financial shit I got going on to where I need that money, and now I'm missing $2 off my check each hour I work. So $2, so I was supposed to make $14.50. I was making $12.50. So I'm like, where's the rest of my money? And everybody was like, oh, I just would have stayed, or I just would have did half the work. And I'm like, no, because I don't operate like that. If you tell me you want me to do some work, I'm going to do the work, but I expect to be compensated fairly, right? I'm going to touch on like 2 more things and I'm going to leave. I'm going to go back to why I feel like I'm not good enough when it comes to women. I feel like I can be a provider, right? I feel like I don't want to say I feel like I know I can, because when I had the whole apartment situation, that shit was all on me and that shit was stressful, but I made shit shake one way or another until we had just got too deep in the depths. And I had told her, let's cut our loss. We basically had to come up with, we were behind like a month and a half almost. So pretty much we had to come up with $1,400 by the 25th and then come up with the regular rent by the 1st. I told her, let's just cut our losses. I was like, we can get the $1,400, leave this apartment, right? And then move into another one. And part of the reason why I didn't want to pay this because they didn't fix, like, they had shortly after we moved in, like a day after we moved in, we saw like a roach or whatever, right? And that's when I stopped staying there. That's when I was like, I'm not coming here. And it just became like something to where like it kept being an issue. They kept having everything over. They kept having like people over, not people over, but like the exterminator people over. They try to fumigate the house, all of that, and nothing would work. And then like the air wasn't working or some shit, but we kept getting charged hella crazy for the light bill. And then when we got called OUC and we finally figured it out, they wanted to give me a credit of $75. Like, no, our light bill be like $200, and we don't. And nobody's here. The election be $200 because nobody's here. Like the air is on, but it's like jammed up. It's not working. Like, I just don't like people playing in my face. And so I knew right then and there I could provide because I made shit shake. When she didn't have a job, I made sure shit shake. She should have listened to me because I had a plan. I told her, hey, look, because she had lost her job at the hospital. I said, during the summer, just work at Universal. That'll get you by. That we both get paid every week. That'll get you by. And then it'll be fine. And then I told her, let's move out. She didn't want to do that. And then they offered to give us another unit, but they wanted us to pay more. I'm like, I'm not paying more when our shit's been fucked up from day one. But back to why I feel like I'm not good enough, right? The last two women have drastically been a significant help in my life, right? I'll say the last three women I dated. The last three women I've really been involved with, like face to face. Like I've seen them more than once, right? So have been a dramatic help in my life. Like I don't feel like I would be as confident as I was today without them, right? And like I won't say I wouldn't be there without them, but I feel like they tried their best to put me in better positions. But I know I live at home. I know I'm about to be 34, right? But they have all essentially left because of one thing. Like they wanted me to get on my shit. And I've been trying to get on my shit. I just been trying to figure out what's the best path for me to get on my shit. And I just feel like at times like I'm not good enough. Like I was supposed to get married to one. It didn't happen. I broke her trust because I wasn't ready to move out there. I wasn't willing to trust that she will hold me down while I try to find a job, right? I knew she made more than me. That wasn't an issue. But it was just I wanted to make sure that I could still do my part because I didn't want to be like a burden. Like I felt like we could end up being Issa and Lawrence from Insecure, and I just didn't want to do that. Like, because I get discouraged. Like if I don't get like if as much as I hate working, if I don't work, I get depressed. I hate working for people, but if I don't work, I get depressed, right? And I just felt like if I was gonna find a job that I liked, because the issue is I could find jobs, but if I don't find jobs that I like, it's hard for me to go to work and stay there, right? It was going to be like, because she was big on stability. The other chick, we were talking, she got pregnant. And then after we had to get rid of the baby or whatever, things were just never the same. Like things were never the same. I kept trying to figure out what was wrong, get with her, try to actually make this shit work. And it was just I was just talking to myself like a dead end. It just hurt. It was just like, bro, like I can't keep doing this. And then the last one, my current situation or whatever the fuck that is, I get it. You want me to get on my shit. Like we've talked about the plan of bankruptcy, getting a new car, and moving out, right? I have waited so long to do the bankruptcy because I've been trying to get a new whip. And I was close in April, and it didn't happen. And they wanted $3,500 down, and I had $2,000, so I didn't get a car because my credit is not good right now. Hence why I'm trying to do the bankruptcy, right? She was like, "Why don't you just go to a buy here, pay her?" But you told me that after the fact, and I'm like, "Damn, if you would have said something, I could have did that." Because once I get my new car, then I'm going to file for the bankruptcy. It goes hand in hand for me because I'm giving up the car I got now, and it's like you know, you see me trying. You know what I'm trying to do, right? And it didn't hurt when she told me like a week ago or so. She was like, because we had a conversation, and I was like, yeah, I was under the mindset you wanted to reach out or date other people or whatever because of me not doing the little things. But it was also more like, I just want you to be a man. It's hard to explain it. It was just like, we've been talking about you doing the shit. I need an active plan on how you get to do the shit. And it got to me a little bit because it was just like, so you're giving up on me too. That's how I felt in that moment. I don't really think she is, but that's how I felt. I was just like, you're giving up on me too, right? Like, it's been a year. Over that course of that year, I've made some good money. I've been on contracts. And you want me to have stable income. You want somebody you can pretend on, somebody that can provide and protect for you. Like, if you were to get pregnant, you need to know, like, okay, he can hold it down. And I get it. And I'm working on it. But it's like, I'm close. Don't give up on me now. Like, extreme. I feel like this is the first time like I've actually taken shit serious and trying to move out, coming out with a plan, talking to my parents, talking to a coworker, being like, okay, we could probably possibly get a roommate. Like, I've actually wrote down a budget on how the fuck I'm gonna budget my money so I can get out the fucking house. Like, I pour a lot into people, and at times I don't feel like I always get that shit back, right? And it's not fun. It's not fun. And when she said that, I was just like, damn. I get what you're saying, because that's not the first time somebody has said it. But I was just like, also at the same time, I was just thinking in my head, like, okay, I may get you back, I may not. But I'm going to get on my shit for me, not because you want me to, but because I need to myself. But it's also at the same time, I would love for you to be a part of this process. At times I get conflicted because it's like, you don't want another woman to enjoy the man that I'm going to become, but you don't necessarily want to stick around for it either. It's like, yeah, I want you to get on your shit, and once you get on your shit, then I could possibly come back to you. And it's like, it's a catch-22, right? Because it's like, okay, I get on my shit and I move out, right? All that extra money that we had to go do shit, I no longer got, because now I gotta pay rent. Like, my rent that went up damn near $500. Now I got lights. Now I got Wi-Fi. Now I got utilities. If I got a new car payment, now I got a new car payment. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, I can get on my shit, but then I can't necessarily I'm going to get on my shit regardless because it's time. But then I can't necessarily do everything that I was doing for you. I can't always pay for your food. I can't always do this and do that. So then it's like, now you're kind of upset with me because I don't have you could be upset because I don't have the extra funds to do that. So it's like, where do we draw the line at? And it's like, my friend made a good point, right? My friend had said, they was like, because she was like, I love you, but I don't know if the love is enough at this point right now. And he was like, so she wants you to get on your shit, but she don't want to stick with you while you get on your shit. And I was like, I don't necessarily know. That possibly could be the case, right? And it could just also be a point of like, hey, like, I may date other people, but I really want you. And once I see that you're actually making moves to really make the better decisions for your life, then bam. That's all I need to see. And it could be. But it's just like, I want to be good enough, man. Like, I want to be like, I know that you're going through. I know it may take a year or a little bit longer, but I got you because I believe in you. Now, I do believe I have a lot of untapped potential. Like, me and Warren had got on my grill last week about it. He was like, nigga. He was like, you got to get your business back up. I'm like, you're right. I was like, but nobody's really been podding this year. I don't force people to pod. He was like, you gotta go out. You gotta go out more. I don't like going out. He was like, you gotta go out more so people know who you are. You gotta promote more. He was like, you sitting on a gold mine with your business. He was like, he was like, have you ever thought that when you used to pod 3-4 days a week, other people would pod 3-4 days a week? But because you don't pod like that no more, if the owner's not podding, right, or they're not creating the content, why am I going to create the content? And I was like, you're right. So I've been making a conscious effort since then to work, stack my bread, and record more. Shout out to Tyler, man, because Tyler let me stay at his house for a week. Because before I went to the night shift, I had to go to the day shift and training. And getting up at 4:30 was hard as fuck every day, coming from Sanford. So he let me stay there for a week. And to me, that was a big week that I can really do this. Because when I work on the contracts, I'm motivated by money, right? That's $40 an hour. So I'm going to get up regardless. But this ain't even paying nowhere close to that. And the fact that I was able to get up all week and go to work and be consistent, no matter how tired I was, like, to me, that was a step in the right direction. So this has been that you know what I'm saying, that's a step in the right direction. Yeah, man, let's wrap this up. Thank y'all for listening. Sorry if I had tears in my eyes a couple times. I just get frustrated, man, at times. I really do. I get frustrated, and I know I have some unresolved trauma I got to work through when it comes to my money issues, when it comes to feeling I'm not good enough, when it comes to my mom. I'm a work in progress, but at least I'm here to admit it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for laughing. I told myself this year, season 5, I'm gonna be consistent and I'm gonna be more vulnerable with y'all, and that's what I plan on doing. Follow me on all social media, man. Average JTPC, that's the podcast Instagram. Follow my other podcast, Baby Daddy Chronicles Pod. Hey, also an alert. Me and Juice have started a podcast. We're in the works of recording episodes now. It's the Juice and Joe Show. We're not going to have social media for it, but I will promote it on this podcast and tell y'all about it when it drops. Shout out to Juice, man, for really just being there for me, bro. Like, that's my nigga, man. Like, Tyler Warren Juice, that's my nigga. Like, over the last couple of years, I've lost some people that's been important to me, and they've been there through all that shit. And shout out to Shan, man. Shout out to Kayla. Even I don't want to listen to the shit she say, because she be right. Tyler and Warren, my brothers, man, my inner circle. Like, I appreciate y'all. Shout out to her. She know who she is. Even if we don't get back together, I just want to see you happy, no matter how much it hurts me. Even if you don't figure out what the fuck you want, and I get back together, because we were never a couple. Follow me on Good Pods, man. Thoughts of an Average Joe. Subscribe, like, man, run my numbers up, man. Just tell me how you really feel about the pod. Give me some advice. Give me some suggestions, man. If you want to start a podcast, man, www.theaveragejoemedia.com, man. I'm going to get you right every time. As you already know.
This is an Average Joe Media production.
Sorry, I hit the button a little too soon. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. I can't do none of this without y'all, man. It's your favorite Average Joe, man. Sign it off, man. Peace.